Alrighty guys, today I feel the need to react to one of my favorite First Descendant creators that I don't think gets enough attention. He's helped me a lot in learning the game, and he has good takes, and I was watching his official Discord AMA video explaining some changes, and I agreed with most of what he said, but the focus of this video is a specific section where he goes over solo versus party play and farming. So I'm going to play his little segment, and then I'm going to talk about how I feel about it.
Kill enemies instantly. It is never happen to make this a problem.
Okay, here it is.
This right here is going to cause them a problem. This is going to cause them a problem because there's no way you're going to make this in the current sandbox. There's no way this can happen because of the way health and damage scales, and because players kill enemies instantly. It is never going to be better. Designed around cooperative play. Yeah, designing it around solo play with cooperative play being like an afterthought is not going to be good for them. It needs to be designed around cooperative play with solo play being an option. Because if you're going to make it solo play and then you're going to have players complaining because it's too hard for them to do, then eventually you're going to nerf this down to where their Freyna can run through and one-shot everything. And then when is it ever going to be faster to play with 4 people than one person when one person can run through without stopping? This is asininely backwards, and this is going to cause a problem. I'm all about supporting solo play in the game, 150%. But you would have to like 5 or 6 or 7 or 10x the rewards to make party farming better. Do you know what I mean? Like this is going to be so challenging for them. It's too easy without a strong build. Yeah, basically that. Yeah, you can speed.
Okay, he's done talking about that segment now. I wanted to give him, the full breadth of conversation, at least as best as I could, to explain his thoughts. So how do I feel about it? One, I would love for them to design the game around solo play, but make party play faster and easier. And I think he's misconstruing the developer's point of what they're saying here. He did touch on the only way to make it work would be if they made it, you get like 10x rewards, right, for playing in a group, which honestly I would be for, because that would make it easier and faster. Like there needs to be a reward. If it's going to take 5 times the amount of damage to kill something in multiplayer versus in single player, then I deserve more rewards because it's harder, right? I want the game designed around solo because I think most people solo and don't play this game with other people. It's a gooner game, meaning the people playing it don't usually have the best social skills, so they're not playing with other people most of the time. I love playing the game with other people, and I want to feel like I'm rewarded for playing with other people and not punished. And in the current sandbox, I feel punished for playing with other people. What he said at the beginning specifically was that this is a bad idea because it couldn't work because of how the game is currently designed. Well, this whole AMA is talking about how they're changing the design of the game. And so if they are going to focus the game around solo play, that would mean that they're going to make it obviously viable for solo play. And they're going to need to make it so that if they do want it to be easier and faster in a group, that they either tune down the damage or the sponginess of bosses and opponents in multiplayer, or they could do the sensible thing, leave it the way it is now, and just give you way more rewards for playing with other people. Every game does this, by the way. Every game does this, and it's really annoying. My webcam keeps freezing. I need a new one if anyone wants to send me one. But every game does this. Like, if you play in a group, in most games, you get more XP. You just straight up do. Or the content is just easier because there's more people hitting the same thing, and the thing has the same health, so it works out. You do more damage, you kill it faster. The issue in this game is that because the game is designed around cooperative, they expect you to need 4 times the damage to kill it. And then when you do it in solo, you one-shot it because you're built for 4 times multipliers, right? Like if you're thinking broadly, if they made it so that in solo, we'll use rough math. If in solo currently it takes 1 second to kill something, and it takes 5 minutes to kill it in multiplayer, which is hyperbolic, but let's say that's how it is. If they changed it so that it took a minute to kill it solo and it took 45 seconds to kill it in multiplayer, I think that would be fine. The problem is it takes too little time to kill it in solo. It's too fast, way too easy. And so when you play in multiplayer, you lose the entire power fantasy that the game is built around. It just disappears. There's no power fantasy in multiplayer. You feel weak as crap unless you're in a mode where everyone one-shots everything. And then you have the other problem the game has, which is Inez and Bunny, which both happen at separate times, where they kill everything and the other players don't get to play. Which is why they made stuff harder, so that you actually can play, because they're not one-shotting everything. But that's because the game is designed currently around multiplayer, but they're not doing well at it. So you see the problem here. It's designed around multiplayer, which makes solo too easy, which makes multiplayer too easy, which is making it so people either don't get to play or it's way too hard. And that's where we keep swinging. Way too easy, way too hard, way too easy, way too hard. And so I think if they design everything around solo play, and it says specifically the rewards, by the way. It's talking about rewards. So if the rewards are designed for solo and then making it easier in party play, I really think this just means they're changing how much drops you're getting. That's what it really looks like to me. Like, it's specifically talking about reward farms. I get more amorphous material in multiplayer, is what I'm assuming it's doing, where the drop chances are higher in multiplayer. Not that you have to have them to clear it, or necessarily it's going to be quicker in terms of time on the board, but it'll be quicker in terms of how long it takes to get the resources. Now, is there anything else in this video that I specifically felt the need to talk over? I guess I'll talk about, there's a section he talks about up here about Descendants' ability. And it's specifically the devs, and they're talking about how they're not planning on nerfing stuff, but they are planning on bringing other characters up to par. And this is where he goes over it.
I do think that they need to like
skip that.
Luna makes sense, but character balance update.
Okay.
Major balance updates coming. Focus on buffing weak characters. Whoa! Hey! I got ahead of myself.
That is cool. They eject stuff.
Major balance update. These guys watch my stream. Just so you know, they watch my stream.
As they should.
Major balance update. Buffing weak characters. Benchmark is going to be Valby. This is a good benchmark. VS is strong. This is a good benchmark. I think VS is strong in what she's strong at, and she's weak where she needs to be weak. I think Valby is strong across the board, and I think Haley is in a good spot. I think this is true.
Okay. I know he talks more about this here, but I'm not necessarily disagreeing with him at all. I want to say Viesa, she's, I think medium. I think she's mid. Mid as in like average. She can clear the thing. She's not the fastest. She's not the slowest. She can just do it. Valby, I feel like is a jack of all trades. Is pretty good at everything. But she doesn't have a power fantasy. And I'll repeat that. No power fantasy on Valby. Most of the characters have a certain power fantasy. Valby doesn't have one. I should probably make a whole video about how Valby is the most unpower fantasy character in the game. And she's also my favorite, which sucks. And I agree with him. Haley is in a great spot. She's one of the best options for Void Erosion Purge. She's amazing against bosses. And her being good in Void Erosion Purge just means she's really good at hard mobbing, not easy mobbing. So the other characters are better at easy mobbing. She's really good at the hard mobbing. And then she's also just a boss nuker. However, I think she sucks in multiplayer. Specifically multiplayer bosses. I don't think she's as good as the other options against bosses in multiplayer, because she's really good when she can just one-shot the bosses. But when she can't, she is just a sitting duck and gets one-shot. They mentioned how Freyna's slightly overpowered. I would say she's really only OP when you can steamroll the content. So now that content's not super one-shottable, and I'm thinking in terms of new stuff. New stuff coming out, she doesn't seem very good. She seems to suck in Void Erosion Purge is the perfect example. She's not that great against the new bosses compared to like Galay or other options. And Inez being beyond broken, I feel like she's about on par. She's better than Bunny, and she's better than Freyna at 400%. Sure, she's a great mobber, and she can solo Defiler. But my Glay does Defiler easier than Inez, and it's faster. Inez sucks in Void Erosion Purge. Like, she's just terrible. Really, the only thing she excels at, it seems to be, is hard mode Vessel. But she doesn't really use guns, so you have to break the... You just want to use Voltia. I guess Voltia with her is OP, sure. But I don't think she's beyond broken, personally. I think when I have her on my team in Purge, I think it's throwing and it ruins it. And because that's the new hardest thing in the game and the thing that we're grinding, I just get pissed when I see her. And in most boss scenarios, I feel like she's also throwing. Now, stuff in this game's easy enough to where it doesn't matter if they're throwing. Like, you can still clear it. But I think to be beyond broken, you should be, you know, busting everything you do, like Freyna did before Inez came out, before they changed the sandbox. Inez is not a gun descendant. Like, right now, it seems like gun descendants are beyond broken. I feel like Glay is beyond broken. Glay can out-clear everyone in 400% with her restored relic builds now, while simultaneously crashing her teammates, which makes her broken, like literally broken. She can one-shot all the bosses with her infinite ammo builds, and she can clear Purge better than everyone else. If anything, I feel like Glay is the most broken character in the game right now. And as they add more weapons, I think it'll get worse. But yeah, I don't think she's broken. I think Valby is underpowered and she needs to be buffed still. And I think VS is okay. I think Haley's pretty good. And then they said that they don't want drastic nerfs, but are looking for alternative balance solutions. And I think that's fine. However, I'm going to be annoyed when it's just how it is currently, where it's like, oh, well, you know, Freyna and Inez are a little OP, so we're just going to make weapons the only thing you can use to clear, so you can't use these characters anymore. So good luck, shelve them. Essentially, that's just writing the character out of the game, writing him out of the story. It's like what they do in movies. Oh, the guy was so strong, we wrote him out of the story. You know, there's nothing else we could do. That's kind of what it sounds like they're going to be doing with Inez and Freyna. But hopefully they just buff everyone else up to be usable. It sounds like they're going to be making supports, you know, stronger, so that they can actually do something, which is cool, because right now there's no reason to have a support when you can just have more damage. But that's going to be an end for the video. If you guys haven't seen Judge Gray, go like, subscribe, comment on his stuff. He is great. He streams like every day. Yeah, if you like my stuff and what I'm doing, like, comment, subscribe to me too. Peace out.